Hello, and welcome to the Paint Girly channel. This is the November edition of hashtag Same Six Wednesday. And as most of you know, there are 6 artisans hosted by Tanya McGuire. And we send each other a packet of goodies. And then we're challenged to use 3 of the 6, if not all of the 6 items, in some kind of a project. And I've been working in my little Same Six Wednesday journal. And this session, I've been creating cards, greeting cards, with my items. So November is items that we received from Barbara Clark. And so I'm going to show you what she sent us. I did have a peek. So I'm opening my journal here. And she sent this really cute Alice in Wonderland playing card. This really cool heavy-duty piece of chipboard with, I guess it's texture paste in a kind of a harlequin pattern. I have no idea what this is. It kind of reminds me of a dryer sheet, but I'm sure it's some kind of really cool paper. How cool that is. And a piece of map. This is a piece of Wisconsin. And this is, I'm guessing, maybe a jelly-plated print on black. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's the other one. 5. And this little, excuse my reach, this little silver filigree sticker. So that's what we have to work with. Now, I've been doing cards, as I said, so I went ahead and I folded my next page, which is going to be my November. And I think I'm going to go landscape on this one. And I'm not sure that I'm going to use all of my pieces with this one. And as I thought ahead, I'm going to use the flip side of my chipboard. And what I want to do is I want to paint that. So I'm just going to close my book for a minute. And I've got myself out here some Deco Art Americana acrylic craft paint. And it's Georgia clay. Now, November, of course, a lot of us would think of thankfulness, Thanksgiving, especially if you live in the States. And so, of course, then I think of fall colors. And if I'm thinking about some kind of a greeting card, that's where my brain goes. So that's how I'm going to use these goodies that Barbara sent us. So I'm just going to deepen the color, put some color on my piece of chipboard here. Now, I do have my hot glue gun plugged in because I may have difficulty getting this glued down on my page, because you see it's not, it's got texture on the back side. But I'm going to go ahead and paint this side, and I just may paint the other side as well, because I don't know which side I want to use. I was thinking the flat side, but now that I think about it, I could alter that other side. So I'm going to put that aside to let that dry for a moment so you don't have to hear my heat gun. Now I'm going to do something really, really a little scary for me as I flip through my book and get to my next page. So I want my card to go this way. right? But I'm going to work on it flat. Now I'm going to put that up on my keyboard. And what I'm thinking is I have these different punches, and I don't usually use them very much, but this is an edge, I guess an edge punch for the edge of a page or an edge of a card. And I'm going to see if I can. Let me see if I'm in screen. I'm trying to, I didn't think this through too well, did I? All right, let's see here. See that my book is, okay, I think you can see me. The back of my book has to sit up in the air, so I can't see my computer screen. And what I'm going to do, well, let me get a clip. That might be a wise thing to do. Let me get a binder clip and clip my other pages here so they don't flop down. That's probably a good idea. Now, I have not been very successful with always using these border punches, but I'm going to give it a go. Worst case scenario, I trim the page and I take it off. But I want to get this lined up. There's a little guide. Oh, that looks darling. Now, if I can get it lined up, of course, there's a little guide here that you're supposed to be able to line up your punches that you've already made. If I can get that lined up correctly. And get it in the right spot. Of course, I've got everything's moving on me here. I need a third hand. Have you ever had that happen? Well, I just could use another set of fingers. You know what, guys? I think that looks cute. I'm going to let it go instead of getting myself in a fix. So I don't know if you can see that, but I think that looks pretty cute. All right, so now it doesn't take long for the acrylic paint to dry. Let me just protect my page here. So that's covered. Now I'm going to put some on this other side, the texture side, and then I'll have, that's way too much paint. Then I'll have some I'll have a little bit of more of a choice here. So I'm using the Georgia Clay. Love, love, love Georgia Clay. Oh my goodness, guys, I really put a lot of paint on there. This is a nice, rich fall color. One of my favorite acrylic colors. Now that is going to take a minute to dry. A minute or so. I like to paint my edges. I like to ink my edges because a lot of times if you're not paying attention, you glue something down and then you have a white or undressed edge, if you will. It just, to me, it just glares at you. So now I've got that covered nicely. All right, I'm going to put my paintbrush back in my water. And I have plenty of paint on my fingers now, which is always cool. Let's see, where can I pop this baby down so I can let it dry? I'm just going to put that off to the side. See, I'm messy. Messy, messy. All right, so now I want to get to that book map page. And I'm hoping that my keyboard will allow me to rest my book on. And I think I want to use this side because this side, I don't know if you can tell, it's got all these little orange outlines which work very well with mine. Now, see, I should have put that on first. All right, so I'm going to trim this down. And so I want it to be maybe about 4.5 inches by 8 inches. So let me grab my little paper trimmer. I'm going to take that plane off of the edges. Now, what did I say? 4.5. Now, this is the fiddly part for me because I want to make sure I get it the size that I want. Now, I'm not too concerned about which way the lettering is going to go. See, because that's too small that way. Because it's just going to be my background. So my cutter, it's a small one here that I pulled out. So let me just take off a little bit there. And I'm going to take a little off there. I need some rubber stoppers on the bottom of a book. Okay. So this way I want to go. And I'm going to do a 4.5 inch cut here. And a little bit more can come off. And then I'm just going to give myself a little guide by giving myself a little fold. And then I'm going to trim it there. And then I'm going to trim a little bit more off of this long edge. Let's do 4.25. All right. So I'm going to set that aside. Now, I didn't pull out my tape runner, which probably would have been a good idea. Yeah, I got it's a little crooked there. So well, actually, it's probably straight, but I'm going to trim this off so it looks the same on both ends. A little bit of orange. And then I'm going to grab an inker, a blender, and I'm going to use my vintage photo, hopefully, if I can just, sometimes I leave it out because I use it so often. I should have a second one here. Let's see. Well, this is frayed burlap. Let's go with frayed burlap. And this is a Tim Holtz Distressed ink. Let's see here. I think it might be better if I ink it this way. Just want to be able to see that edge a little bit. Well, frayed burlap is certainly a lot different than the vintage photo. It's a little deeper, and that's okay. The book page is a lighter weight paper, so to ink it this way, I'm not getting as much depth of color that I would like. So sometimes I find if I scrub it on in a circular motion, just remember to put something underneath you, so whatever surface you're working on, you're not inking something you would rather not ink. All right. So I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to quickly just use a little bit of Mod Podge and just glue this down. That's my background for the front of my card. Now you can't really see the edge punch that I did, so I'm going to take a little bit of that ink, that frayed burlap, and I'm going to try to get some ink on that. I hope you can see that okay. Just going to do the edge of my card a little bit here. All right. Now let's see if my piece is dry. It's not as dry as I'd like, but my idea is to then put this piece of chipboard that Barb sent us here. Now what I'm wondering is if I want to go plain, because what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this fibery paper that she sent, and I'm hoping that if I put that on that, it shows through. See, it does. And I don't think you really can see the texture, so I'm not sure that it really makes a difference. All right, so let me move this out of the way again, and I'm going to take some of my matte medium, my golden matte medium, and a glue brush, and I'm going to put some golden on the flat side of my chipboard. Now I did pull out a couple of stamps. I pulled out a thank you stamp. Again, this is November for hashtag Same Sex Wednesday project. Now I'm going to take a piece of this glorious paper. And then I'm going to do the golden right over top. It's almost like a napkin kind of a texture. Oh, I think that looks really cool. All right, so I'm going to put my brush back in my water. Now I'm going to sit this off to the side and let that hopefully dry. Now I'm going to pull out a piece of, I'm hoping, this is kind of like, not really manila folder, but kind of similar. And I thought this little bird might look cute to stamp and add to my front. And this card just very well may be blank inside, because sometimes we need a blank card to write our own sentiment or a special message, especially if you're thanking someone for a kindness or for a gift. I'm going to put my mouse pad underneath here. See if I have this little guy inked up well enough. Oh, he's cute. Oh, I think he's really adorable. Okay, so let's use him. I put 2 out because I'm doing a lot of things that are really going to take a while to dry, but maybe let me trim him out first. I think I'm going to just go ahead and tear the image rather than cut. Isn't he cute? Maybe make that a little smaller. All right. And then I think I'm going to ink those edges. And I'm going to use some of my diamond glaze. And I think I'm going to, hopefully this will not cause an avalanche when I grab this. I have some fall colored seed beads here. So I'm thinking, wouldn't it look cute to have some of these just glued on the wing and maybe the beak? Now this is going to take a while to dry. I understand that, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. So I'm just going to float a little bit. Ooh, that's a lot more than a little bit. And spread that in his wing. Of course, I didn't get too many rusty colors in there. Just dropping them on like they're jimmies or sprinkles on an ice cream. Oh, that looks cute. Let me show you. I think if I do it on the beak, I'm going to lose the look of his beak. Let me see, where's my Kindle? Isn't he cute? See if it straightens out. There he is. All right, so we're just going to do that little bit there. Put those back in my jar. Boop, boop. Seed beads all over. I probably should do one for his eye. Maybe I'll do that. I've got a little, the darker brown coppery color here. See if I can get just a little bit of that to act as a glow. Now let me see if I can pick up a little seed bead and plop it on there for his eye. Oh, that's good. Okay, so now I need to have that dry. I'll get my mat out of the way. All right, so I'm using the fabric. I'm using the chipboard. It's still a little damp. I'm going to see if I can sand off this edge. I just had my little emery board. It's always handy to, at least I find it handy to have an emery board in your workstation, because when you glue a napkin down or tissue paper, anything like that that has this kind of an edge, you can clean off the edges very easily with an emery board, and it looks very nice and neat instead of tearing it. Now I just had it in my hand, and of course now that I'm with you and recording, I cannot find it. It's still a little damp. Let me cut off the excess here. Now I also want to do my sentiment. I'm going to save the rest of that. That's really cool stuff. Really cool. I knew I wanted to use my emery board. I should have pulled it out when I saw it. And of course I have several. Well, it wasn't there. I don't think if I use water, it's going to dissolve, because this is really a sturdy piece of material. Yeah, it's starting to dry up pretty nicely. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just see if I can get this. If I scrape my X-Acto knife along the edge, I may get the same result, because the chipboard is very sturdy. I just want to get that little bit. I don't think I can do it with the scissors very well. This is so nice and fibrous. And look, see how it's, as it dries, it's really kind of becoming one with the paint and the matte medium. So I'm just pulling and tearing that edge off. See, when you use the emery board, the roughness of the emery board just kind of cuts that fiber, and it works really well for you. You guys probably have done that 100 times. All right, so I'm thinking I'm going to put my little bird on here. Now, I do have my hot glue gun plugged in, which I probably already mentioned. And I'm going to hot glue this on my card surface. So I've got 2 items that Barbara sent here, and then my map is item 3. That's what I'm required to use. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that, girls and guys. Not sure who's watching. Let me get my little feathered friend off to the side here. Open my journal back up. So I'm going to use my hot glue gun, and I'm going to glue that in the center of my card. That won't take much, right? So let me just, now be careful if you're using hot glue. Watch your fingers. They tell you to have a bowl of cool water just in case you run into a problem. Safety first, safety first. All right, now let me just see if I can get that down. Oh, yes, that looks so cool on the book page, the map page. I like that. All right. Now, my little feathered friend, I'm going to just put in the center. And I've got some pop-up dots. I think I want him to be popped up so he stands up a little bit. This book of mine is going to be very chunky indeed. Now I'm just going to sit him in the center. And peel off my little adhesive. And pop him on. Isn't he cute? All right, so now inside, I'm going to put my sentiment, which I'm going to use my thank you stamp. And let's see. Move some of this off to the side. And I think I like to have it on maybe a bit of the book page with the map design, because I really did like that. So I'm going to get my Stampin' Up! Timber Brown back out. So everything is kind of coordinated. Ink that up. We'll do a stamp. See how it looks. Right side up is always good. And I got some smudge in there. Some smudging. I'm going to flip it over and try again. All right, re-ink. And I still have some smudges here. I'm going to wipe that off before I stamp down. Thank you. Okay, that's much better. So I'm going to just finish this up by now tearing my sentiment. And there is a right and a wrong way to tear. If you tear away from yourself, you don't get that white extra bit. See, I got some extra here. I always forget which way is the right way to tear. So I'm going to move my mouse pad. Now I have some of that map paper left over. I'm thinking I want to so my card's going to close this way in my book, and to tie it together, I think that'll be good. So I'm going to take some more of my ink, and I'm getting ready to wrap it up. This is so much fun. First of all, you don't know what you're going to receive from your fellow artisans. And it's so fun to see how everybody uses those pieces. So in the description box below, you will find a link for all of the artisans. Again, we're hosted by Tanya McGuire, and Tanya McGuire is the name of her YouTube channel. And with all the ladies that are part of our hop, we do appreciate if you would stop by, watch the video, Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And then all the links will be there, and you can travel around and see how we all use the different items sent for any given month. And like I said, this is November 2021. Hashtag Same Six Wednesday. And this is my thank you card that I made with the items received from Barbara Clark. So I used my map page. And then she sent a chipboard, which I painted with the, let me see, I got you the wrong way with my camera. And then this beautiful fiber paper to give me a little design. So it's item 1, chipboard item 2, fabric item 3, which is what I'm required to use. And then we open it up and it says thank you. And I've got another piece of the map paper in here, kind of to tie the card together. All right, that's it for me for this installment of Same Six Wednesday. And I'll see you next month. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.